Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing? Man, Antonelli here. Today, answering your questions. Question today is, what was life like after baseball when I stopped playing baseball? Was it a tough decision? And what did I do? What went through my head? So we'll kind of give you guys some insight into how that all took place. So my last season playing was 2013. To give you, if you don't, if you're new to the channel, I played 8 seasons professionally for 5 different teams: Padres, Nationals, Orioles, Yankees, Indians. Ended up playing a little over a year of Major League service time. Probably got about, I think, probably 5 or 6 of AAA, and then the rest were below AAA. And so in 2013, I was with the Cleveland Indians. Ended up playing AAA for them. Got released a couple months into the season, and nobody wanted to sign me. So the season ended. Again, I had a bunch of injuries over my career, a lot of surgeries, poor play, bunch of stuff that teams really aren't interested in signing guys that don't play well and get hurt a lot. And so it was 2013, so I was 28 years old, 29, 28, I think. And so had to make a decision. Basically, nobody wanted to sign me. It was the middle of the summer, pretty much. The only teams that wanted to sign me were independent ball teams, so they're non-affiliated teams, which a lot of guys that do get released and can't sign on with affiliated teams will go play independent ball. The reason I decided not to go play independent ball is for some of the reasons I already just talked about. I'd been really, really injury prone. I had a really bad wrist. So I'd been kind of playing with that for a while, and it was difficult to play well. It was difficult to practice a lot, and I was not playing good baseball, in my opinion. And so I just didn't feel like I had a really good chance of making the major leagues. And I always felt like if I was going to play baseball, I wanted to play because I wanted to play at the highest level. I didn't really have interest in just being a minor league player. Like, I wanted to play at the highest level, or if I didn't feel like I could do that, then I said I'd go do something else. And that's where I was at. And so I decided to not play anymore. And I'd always known I wanted to coach. That was something that I did always know. I mean, I love baseball. And so if I couldn't play it, I always said I'd coach it. And so that's what happened. I wasn't playing anymore and had to decide what to do. And so first thing I decided to do is go back and get my degree from Wake Forest. So I got drafted after my junior year at Wake Forest. And I went and signed with the Padres. And so I still had one more year of schooling. I actually had a little bit over a year because I I didn't slack off in college, but I took less credits than I should have because I was kind of concentrating a lot on baseball. So I'd slowly fall a little bit behind each year. I think you're supposed to take, I think 15 is the normal credit load, I believe. And I think I was taking 12. So I was falling behind 3 credits every spring. I took 15 in the fall, I believe. And so I wanted to go back to school. I wanted to get my degree. For one, just because I wanted to do it because, I spent 3 years going to Wake Forest, and it was a difficult school, and I felt like I worked at it for 3 years. I'm not going to just not get my degree. I'll go back and do the final year. The other thing is I was also interested in possibly coaching college baseball. And, most college coaches, I think pretty much all head coaches in college have degrees. And so, it was important for me to do that. And so I went back to Wake Forest, and I also coached there. So I called the head coach at Wake Forest and asked him if there was any opportunities for me in the baseball staff. And they let me be a student, excuse me, a student assistant coach, which is basically a student at the school that's an assistant coach. And so I wasn't able to do certain things, like I couldn't recruit. That was the big thing. Couldn't do any recruiting stuff or anything like that. Didn't do any office stuff. Obviously, I was a student, so I had to go to school every day. So basically what my job entailed was mostly just on-field stuff. So I'd go to class from 8 or 9 a.m. until, say, 2. And then I would go down to the field. We'd start practice at 2:30 or so. And I would work with the team in practice. And so I got to work with the hitters. I got to work with the infielders. It was the first time that I really got experience coaching. I'd coached during the off season. My dad coached travel ball teams and stuff, and I'd come back and help high school kids and that kind of thing. But I'd never really been involved in an actual program, let alone an ACC program, Division I, really good baseball school program. So it allowed me to really, it was a great opportunity for me to be able to start to coach some older players, some better players, to see what it was like being around a college program and how it worked. So that was really, really, a great opportunity for me. Learned a lot. And I think that's kind of where it confirmed for me that I really enjoyed coaching and I wanted to coach in the future. The other thing that I did that I didn't mention when right before I got that, right before I went back to Wake Forest, I also started Antonelli Baseball. And so basically my dad had been a travel ball coach. I told you that a few minutes ago. And so what we decided was I started a program, and then my dad came over and coached with one of the coaches, and we started with just 3 teams. A lot of people ask me how we started Antonelli Baseball. I'll go more in depth in that in another video, but we started with 3 teams, and so I kind of did that for the first few months while I was, after I got fired from baseball. I started that up. And then when I left to go coach at Wake Forest, my dad kind of handled things, and we had some other coaches. And so that's kind of how that first year went. I was away playing, and my dad and some other coaches were running Antonelli Baseball during the winter. And then I got back after the Wake Forest season in June, and then I began coaching I took the 16-year-old team for Antonelli Baseball, and I coached them during the summer. So I kind of had these 2 things going on at once. And I was trying to get a feel for, did I want to coach college baseball? Did I want to be involved in my own program and have my own program and have younger players, high school players and younger? And so when that first year ended, I really didn't know exactly which way I wanted to go just yet. I kind of felt like I wanted to go the college route a little bit, but wasn't 100% sure. And so I got an opportunity to be the hitting coach at Holy Cross, which is a Division I program in Worcester, Mass, in the Patriot League. And so I took that job. I kept Antonelli Baseball. We went from 3 teams to 4 teams. And now this is where it became tricky, because now I was actually a paid coach. I was a hitting coach. I recruited. I worked full-time in the office. And so it was my full-time job. And as a Division I coach, there's a lot of restrictions as far as what you can do if you have a program, because there's a lot of recruiting violations that could take place. And so I wasn't able to really do much with Antonelli Baseball that year. I wasn't allowed to go to practices. I wasn't allowed to do a lot of stuff. But I got a ton of experience coaching college. And so I was able to recruit for the first time. I was able to really see what it was like being a true college coach, to see kind of like the grind of being a college coach, being on the road a lot, traveling around the country, all that stuff. Had the opportunity to have, I think we had 18, 19 hitters that I was able to coach every day. I was kind of in charge of putting a plan together and figuring out what we wanted to work on. And it was awesome. It was a really cool opportunity for me. Learned a ton. That really was kind of truly my first real coaching gig, where it was these guys were my guys. And so it was really, really fun. And so that season went on, and when that season ended, that's where I kind of finally made the decision to go the Antonelli Baseball route. And I made a couple other videos on this. I ended up having my wife gave birth to our son. And so, as a college coach, you do a lot of traveling. It's a busy schedule. Worcester, Holy Cross is like a little over an hour from my house. So every day I would drive like an hour and 15 there, and then an hour and 15 home. So I spent like 2.5 hours in the car every day if there was not that much traffic. And so a lot of travel and everything, and I decided, I was like, as much as I really enjoy this, I wanted to be home a little bit more. And so I ended up leaving college baseball, and I decided to go full 100% into Antonelli Baseball and try to build that. So we took it up to 9 teams, and that was really my full-time job, and it was great. And so that's what I've been doing now the last couple of years. So now we have a bunch of teams, players 11 all the way to 18 years old. And so, helping them develop and helping them, the older guys, get into college and help them with recruiting and all that stuff. And I'm also coaching at my old high school, St. John's Prep. I also assist there now. And so have transitioned to a younger player, high school and down. But it's been a ton of fun. Obviously, I love what I'm doing. And so that was kind of the transition from playing to coaching, and it was pretty easy and pretty seamless. And I think I'm lucky that I knew kind of what I wanted to do, because your pro ball career can end really quickly, like 28 years old, and you got to figure out what you want. A lot of guys have no idea what they want to do, and I got lucky and kind of knew. So That's what I've been doing. So hopefully that helps you guys out. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel if you're not done so already. Give us a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. Check out the description box below. Got a bunch of stuff down there for you guys, and keep sending in questions. Take care, fellas. Thanks.